Hello, my name is Michael Sitwain, manager at Stay Maven, helping you with your Airbnb short-term rentals perform better, be it managing us or just helping you manage it better.
What's up, guys? I'm Justin, manager at Stay Maven, looking to inform you guys on short-term rentals. Maybe in the future we work together, provide some financial insight, the works. That's what we're here for. That's what we're going to talk about. Happy to be here. Real happy to be here.
So today we're going to be chatting a bit about the history of short-term rentals, what we've seen in the past, what we're seeing in today's market with the interest rates, and what we're thinking is going to be happening in the future based off our 2.5 years of experience. So Justin, what's your thoughts on the past and how everything got started in the short-term rental space?
I really think, the short-term rental space has taken a huge turn in terms of people getting in, getting out. I think hospitality has not gone out the window, but people are forgetting that Airbnb and this hosting is really all about hospitality. But from how short-term rentals started, or how the Airbnb platform started, I really think it's come a long way. I mean, it used to be just one guy, maybe me or you, posting their couch or their mattress on the Airbnb platform, and hosting people from all around the world, or local people just looking for a bed to stay for a night. So I really think it's taken a turn to the good, but also there's some pros and cons to it. So based
Yeah,
off
like
that,
every evolving industry that we've seen and have lived through. Yeah, in the past, what I'm seeing is it used to be more, like you said, more mom and pop, less bigger operators, and that's just because it's a young industry that didn't have as much laws in place, regulation in place. Those kind of things are being laid out now, and we're seeing more regulations in cities and things. But it's really an interesting industry how, similar to Uber and other sharing economies, how we were able to. So a lot of people were like, sharing my home, sharing an intimate part of myself. It's like something that we never thought, and now like 10, 15 years later, actually, it's something that's so common practice that is seen as like, hey, every other person has stayed at an Airbnb or knows what an Airbnb is about. And then, like currently, what we're really seeing is an oversupply in the market. We're seeing just too many people get on Airbnb, short-term rental, because they hear it's a more lucrative thing to do in real estate, and we have seen it. We know the numbers are more lucrative, the LTR, NTR, whatever it may be. That does come with more expenses like cleaning and maintenance and things, but we have seen that most people benefit greatly of short-term rentals and having properly ran Airbnbs. Going into the future, I'm thinking it's like more pro. That's a tough one. The industry itself is just getting more professional, and by that I mean there's less people with more listings, as opposed to just having your ADU or one or two listings. It's more professional players in the game with having 10 plus listings. This just shows that the industry itself is just getting more professional players, people that are operating in a cadence that is bigger and more important. I wouldn't say more important, but just bigger in terms of scale than what we had been seeing. I think this is actually really healthy for the industry because it's going to help people just have a better standard of like what I'm used to based off hotels. We see that the professional people are just having more comparison to what hotels offer as opposed to the mom and pop. They might just throw a bed in there and be like, "That's enough." When we all know that's not hospitality. It needs to
it's
be
not
much like that's bare bones. That's what they do in jail.
100%. Like,
So
yeah,
if that's hospitality, that's not the hospitality we want to be in.
not at all. They got to take some hospitality classes, because from what we've learned and from what we've seen, small little welcome gifts, we want to call it, right? Small little
Yeah.
welcome gifts go a long way with the guest. That's what
Yeah,
the difference is from
unexpected
leaving.
surprises. Yeah, helping somebody with like a reservation, getting them some flowers because they had an anniversary, things like that. Just have an effect on the people that stay with us, and they do mention that in the reviews and things like that.
I mean, effectively, that's what separates you from these people that just think a mattress and like a room is all that matters, or like a few blankets. From the people that are actually using hospitality techniques, like we are. I mean, not to toot our own horn, but we kind of have that advantage here. And I think users that are going to be following us and learning from us, I think they should use those as key points. Hospitality, learning what people want, small little gestures. I mean, that's what separates you, and that's what can give you that 5-star review from a guest.
Yeah, and with that, it's we've been having some people approach us either because they had a national manager that didn't do too good for them because either they didn't care about their listing enough because they had thousands of listings, or something along the lines of that. We've actually encountered a property over in Pompano Beach that they were working with Zeus Living. It's a short-term rental, mid-term rental management company, and they've been having some issues. We read up into it. It seems like they are going under Chapter 11 and so forth. It's a very interesting company. Justin, you want to share some more about it?
Yeah. So that company was just, I don't know. In my opinion, they were kind of just lacking that local management. I think they were really just under the ball. I think they were just raising too much capital, but also not giving that personal touch. You know what I mean? Leaving some of the property owners under the bus, or they just weren't communicating with them that well. And I want to express the importance of a local manager is key, and monthly checkups on a property. Why? Because it gives you that personal touch. It gives you that eye to eye. I mean, the cleaners can only tell you so much, or I mean, if you have exquisite cleaners, I mean, they can really touch base on that. But I mean,
yeah, you always need that checks and balances. Even an
exactly.
amazing cleaner will miss something here or there. Didn't we? Didn't didn't we have somebody that was working with a company that you went to tour the property and then they didn't even have their own access code to their property?
Yeah, I did, and
Like
that was
that?
another thing. Communication, man. Some of
Yeah,
these big
communication.
companies are lacking communication, and it is crazy, and it gets scary, and it kind of ruins it sometimes for a property owner because they're like, oh man, I already went through this management company. What the hell is this management company going to do to me now? It kind of leaves a bad taste for them. I mean,
For both,
which
like just
sucks.
Airbnb, short-term rentals in general, and then just
All
property
of it.
managers as well. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All of it, and it sucks because then once a good company comes along and they want to do things correctly, they have communication, they have the local manager, it just tarnishes it. You have to do that extra work, which I mean they're willing to, but still it leaves that terrible taste there.
Yeah,
Sucks,
and like
but
what
whatever.
what we
That's
see with Zeus is they were I pulled up an article. We'll share it with all of you. It was founded in 2015. They raised around 125 million, and that includes 55 million on the Series B. So they had 2 to 3 funding rounds at least, and in that B round, Airbnb participated in it, which is a very interesting idea. How like Airbnb, a company that is doing this, is investing in companies that are doing property management or trying to at scale. What we see that they failed at is they tried to grow too fast, and because of that, in relation to how the market has shifted in the last year or so, we don't think it's been beneficial to them. It shows about 5,000 homes in 96 cities. So if we think about that, that's about what, 50 average per city, 52 per city, and they don't have local management. So we think, and we based off uh, based off somebody in Pompano Beach, we know firsthand experience that property owners that were working with them did not have a good experience. Communication was bad. Their payouts were late, like things like that you can't have in real estate. It's really unprofessional. it's something that if you have a property management company, late payments or bad communication, not giving you access to your property should be should never happen.
Exactly.
So very interesting to see companies like this fail. We think it's a combination of the market, their expansion was too fast, and the local management. We think the local management is something that's key to being sure that we have a good operation. With Justin in Florida, down there in South Florida, crushing it, making sure all the listings are good from Tavernier to Deerfield.
Which is
You want to add You want to add something
I,
on Zeus?
I wanted to touch base on like the local management. I feel like that's a cool topic, because obviously it gives you that personal touch, but also it keeps the local manager kind of intact. You know what I mean? As soon as you go over like 10 listings, that's when kind of things get a little hectic. I feel, in my opinion, like after 10 listings in one place, it's like, okay, shit. So it can get overwhelming. It can get like, what's the word? Hectic. We'll call it hectic. And then, but I think that. But anything to add on Zeus? Well, they're fucking going under.
Yeah, they are. With a $200 million valuation 4 years ago, and now they're going under. This is something to note about this company that they do a little different than traditional property management is that they would invest in the furniture and take that against the revenue of the property. So I would call this like a hybrid co-host to rental arbitrage, because it's like you don't have a lease sign, but you do have the furniture cost per property that you have to get going. So I think that is up there with like what messed them up. And we did see some of the properties that they set up. Furniture and interior design is basic. I would say it was okay 2-3 years ago, but to compete in today's market, it's missing rugs, interior design, color, like things that make a space a space.
Yeah, it's missing those accent colors. It's missing that that personal touch that sometimes these big companies miss. You know, I mean, obviously, being that it was a big company, I feel like they should have hired an interior designer or a few with that artistic touch, or at least kept themselves up to date with some of the more modern, the more virtuous looks that people are looking for. You know?
Yeah, and that goes back to what we see in the future of the short-term rental market. I'd say it's going to be less Airbnb. It's going to be more other platforms, as in other platforms are going to grow. We're really exploring direct booking as well, things like that.
I think direct booking is going to grow. I think direct booking.
I do too. The issue with that is the trust factor, both from the property owner to the individuals that are staying in the property, and the individuals to the property owner. How could they trust that, be it that it's not through a third party or something along those lines.
So what you're saying is,
yeah.
Go ahead.
There needs to be some kind of like checks and balances, review system in place that can't be tarnished. Because like reviews on a website, I could easily edit that. So it's like, yes, it's somewhat credible, but there needs to be a little bit more. But it's definitely something that we are exploring. We're getting into. We're going to be in it this coming year. We've been exploring it mostly for our customers that have stayed with us. We want them to stay again. We'll offer a discount. That's something we should chat about the tech stack. That would be a cool tech stack. Should be another episode. That one might be too much. That would be too much. We'll see. We'll see.